Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Locked In podcast.
Yeah.
I am Taylor.
And I am Dan.
Indeed, very well said, very clear who we are.
Yeah.
No, this is the first sort of it's the first time we're doing this for the new venture of Locked In. We thought we'd just do this alongside some other content just so you can get to know us a bit more, humanise the brand a little bit, put a face to the name, if you like. Mm-hmm. So in this episode, it's not going to be a particularly long one. We're just going to, find out some things about our past, what qualifies us to run a sports company, I suppose, in our sporting escapades in the past. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So what... Dan has very nicely sort of written us some questions.
Here we go.
What is your earliest sporting memory, both personally playing and watching?
Gosh. Very first playing memory is probably I was 3.5, nearly 4 years old, and there was like a little indoor toddlers thing at this leisure centre in Bournemouth called Littledown. And I'd obviously been football mad, running around with a little bag of air for the last 18 months. And then Mum was like, right, well, we'll get him into this little football tournament and see how he gets on, might enjoy it. And I absolutely loved it. And it was just running around an indoor sports hall, basically, kicking balls at hockey goals. But what a wonderful time. What a wonderful time. And then that was the bug caught, really. That was me off. And watching, There's a very early memory, which is the earliest sporting memory, and it was when Cantona scored that chip with his collar up and then just turns around to the whole crowd. And it was that made me basically support Man United.
Were you at that game? No, on telly.
No.
Right,
on telly, yeah. Sorry, not a live sporting moment in terms of being there, but seeing it and it still being a memory of mine. Even though, I was ridiculously young. I'm like 3 years old. In fact, it may even be my earliest memory, like full stop, of life and existence. So, yeah, those are my two big kind of reasons for sports and what got me into it, why I love it. Yeah, yourself, T?
Well, weirdly enough, considering how mad I am about stuff now, I didn't get into any sort of sports until I was about 11. Yeah, so I've got no really early memories of doing anything. I actually disliked football until, this comes on to my first sporting memory, I suppose. I watched Manchester United in the 2008-2009 Champions League final.
What a game.
That was the John Terry slip, for those who don't remember. Yeah, cry about it, prick. And yeah, I remember watching Edwin van der Sar make that save. Can't remember who it was. I feel like it was Alex, maybe, that he saved it from.
I think it was.
Dived down to his right-hand side, and then, that got me into football, but more specifically being a goalkeeper, which is what I ended up being in my early years. I joined a local football team. They already had a very good goalkeeper, so all that training went down the Swanee, and I became a striker. And I broke the scoring record for my age group of that team in my first year, and then broke my own record the year after.
Very nice. Yeah. Bosh.
So I played the highest level I ever played at. I played for North Lee, this was still at youth level, but they are a semi-professional team. They're a feeder club to Oxford City and therefore Oxford United. I did play one game for City, for Oxford City, but it was a sort of an exhibition game. Scored a 30-yard volley. Have that. But yeah, my main, in terms of actual sporting achievements and things like that, most of them came in basketball. Oh. But no, my one and only love really is football.
Nice. There you go. And that's why we're here.
Yes.
What have we got next?
Have you ever seen a major injury happen in person? I've actually caused a few.
Have you really? Yeah. What, major injuries?
Yeah.
Go on, son. What have we got?
Rugby. I tackled a bit low and I inverted his leg.
Inverted? That doesn't sound good.
His knee was now facing the wrong way. That sort of thing. I've broken people's fingers. Yeah, I broke a leg, fingers. I broke someone's nose once. None of those are really major, other than the leg, I suppose. But yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty big.
yeah,
I do.
yeah. But I mean, in terms of watching, not really. I haven't really watched besides those.
No.
But other than my own, I got kicked in the eye when I was playing rugby.
The fuck?
And I tackled someone, but the fuckers thought that it wasn't a tackle, so I got up, flicked his leg as he ran off, and his stud went straight in my eye.
Oh, grim. Oh.
So, according to the doctor, I was 2 millimeters of my eyelid away from losing sight in my right eye.
Shit.
Yeah, so that
That'll
was
do
fun. Butterfly stitches on my eyelid, and I do have a very faint scar. I don't know if you can see it.
I must admit I can't.
Yeah. Well, it's faded. It was about 15 years ago. So,
Yeah.
but no, for a long time I had 2 little scars like that
Oh, shit.
on my eyelid. Yeah, there you go.
Bloody hell.
What about yourself?
I've been very lucky personally in terms of injuries. I've never had like a break. Other than broken nose. I broke my nose twice in football. They were actually consecutive days. I think I was at like some under 12 soccer school thing at a local place called Rocco or Rocco, however you pronounce it, near where I grew up in Bournemouth. And I'm playing out pitch, and I've said to this lad, I'll go and goal for like this half of a game, whatever. Balls come across, just whack straight in the nose. Didn't mind, kept playing, and then they told me to stop because like my whole new tracksuit was by Christmas time. Whole new tracksuit was just covered in claret. It was an absolute mess. And then my mum come to pick me up that day. They were like, I'm really, really sorry. Your son's been injured today, but he'll be fine. Bring him back tomorrow. You can keep playing. And then I went in goal for the whole day the next day. Pulled off this ridiculous save, gone bottom left, flinged it. It's hit the post. I've looked back to see if it's gone in. Bang, straight in the face again. The second outfit, day number 2, covered in claret. But in terms of seeing injuries, I saw a lad fracture his ankle in a cup final in a school game, and then the most gruesome thing I've seen, which is not that bad really, I saw a kid in a rugby match for my sixth form. He's put his hand down, and as he's put it down, his thumb's just twisted the other way. But I was literally, me to the camera away, which we were talking about 3-4 feet, right by the sideline, and just seeing this thumb mangled backwards, I was like, oh my lord. But yeah, no.
So if you're wondering why we're talking about something so morbid, i.e. watching people get hurt, the reason is that Locked In is a brand that will soon provide injury prevention and medical type tape, but for the sports industry specifically. So you might be able to see a few of them over my shoulder. So yeah, it's... I can't think of a segue. Next question.
Well, it's been 12 months of hard work, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
12 months of hard work, and we now have legally... What we will do in the next 3 months, they're going to be a legally registered UK medical product. So that's pretty cool. There's not many people in the world that can say they've done that. And we just want people to enjoy sport without having to worry about, can I play next week? Can I actually enjoy this 90-minute match without getting absolutely battered? Like...
There is a good reason why not many people can say that in the world, and it's because it's an absolute ball ache. But we can look back at it with rose-tinted specs now that it's over and it's done, and I never have to do that bollocks again.
Indeed. If you're going to do something, do it properly.
Too right, yeah. So, Dan, what are your top 3 sporting achievements personally? What have you done in your life to sort of qualify yourself as a competent sportsman?
Oh God, I mean, no word of a lie. From the age of 4, I was already kicking the ball around every day prior, like I mentioned. From the age of 4 until the age of 12, I know for certain there was not one day that I didn't kick a ball. There wasn't one. And I would say on average, if you looked across that 8-year period, I was probably playing on average 2 to 4 hours a day. Like just either in the garden, kick-ups by myself. We had a very, very lucky once I hit sort of 7 or 8 years old. We moved into our first house. And my mum, we had this long garden, and she's bought me this football goal with one of the segment things where you can like hit it into different corners and angles. So I've been playing for it for like a long time, obsessively. biggest achievements, though, that is tricky. So the first Little Down team, so under sevens, like six-a-side team I played for at a leisure centre on AstroTurf. I joined the team and they were bottom of the league when I joined them, and that was a third of the way into the season, and it was myself and another lad called Stan that joined this team called the Danes. By the time the league finished, we finished second in the league, and we came second in the only tournament cup that rang coherently or alongside that. So that was a pretty big achievement at the time, only because of two individuals making such an impact to a team. That was good fun. Second one, I would say, this is so random, but it's clippable. It's probably clippable. When I was 13, we played in a summer tournament, and each team had to nominate 2 penalty kick takers for the penalty shootout. I think I've told you this story before today, but so there's 5 different goalkeepers, and there's these 42 or 44 lads involved in this tournament, the penalty shootout tournament, and I did win it quite clearly. I think the next best, they'd scored 3 goals, and I'd scored all five of mine. But we had a keeper with one arm. Every single other competitor hit the ball towards the side that had no arm, right? I felt bad for him. I knew he wouldn't be able to stop me hitting it hard to the good arm, so I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll give him a chance. Honestly, I felt so guilty for this poor lad, like literally an amputee missing half his arm in goal. Nobody thought that one through. And yeah, I scored on his good side. Take my strong hand kind of moment.
That's one of your top 3 sporting achievements.
I think
is beating an amputee.
Well, beating 43, 41 or 43 other lads at scoring enough penalties to not miss and win it. Mental, innit? Other than that, in terms of an achievement, there's varying versions, I guess. Like when I hit 11 years of age, I started enjoying tricks, like football skills and stuff. So one of the coolest things I've ever done is I've done 8 around the worlds in a row. So when you do a kick up, bounce, and just keep going round without having an extra touch in between. And 8 in a row is probably like my best on that, which not many people can do. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I think it's just I've never played for a team that hasn't won or come second in every tournament or league that I've taken part in. I know that's not an individual achievement, it's a team achievement, but it's a team sport. So, but yeah, I'd say they're probably my biggest and best.
I'm going to sound like a dick now.
Go on.
Because his were like quite wholesome and,
nice,
meaningful, whereas, I'm going to sound like I'm bragging, but fuck it. No, my biggest achievement was, as I said earlier, in basketball. I was part of the school team, and anyone who knows anything about basketball is schools and universities, they're quite a big thing when it comes to the basketball culture. Team, school against school, university against university is sort of the groundworks of how the basketball system works. So I joined the basketball team in year 7, which for people who aren't British
11.
is 11. And I played till I was 17, and we did not lose one game for the entire span that I played for the team.
Voila, that's not
bad, 5 years of back-to-back continuous wins with 5 individual championships.
Very nice.
And it was national championships.
Wow.
And we didn't lose one game. We came very close with actually a local school, and we only beat them by 1 point.
Yeah.
But the biggest achievement of those was we beat something called the European School,
right,
which was very feared. This was on more of a local sort of thing before it went national. They were the best team in the county, or the region, actually, the region. Mm-hmm. And basically it was because it was full of Americans who obviously, and Dutch people as well. The Dutch are actually very good at basketball. And the Spanish as well, because it's a national sport. Yeah. And it was all these where they've been playing it from the same age that most of us start playing football. Yeah, they start playing basketball, and it was full of them. And we went there. It was an away game. No, it wasn't. It was neutral. It was at Brookes University because they had the best court in Oxfordshire. So we used it as our home court because we're cool. And yeah, we beat them quite convincingly. Actually, we beat them, and their centre, which was my position because I was the tallest, so they're the big guys, who in the NBA are like 7 foot plus. Their centre was 6'8".
Oh my God! How old?
15, 16.
Fucking Jesus, it's a man.
And I had to mark him.
Of course you did, Tay.
And I was quite tall. I was probably 6'2", 6'3", so tall for like a 15, 16-year-old, but nowhere near like 6'7", 6'8". And actually, the guy who presented us the trophy after we won was a guy called Priest Lauderdale, who played in the NBA, and he's 7'3".
Whoa, that's a big old boy.
He was a big boy. Like, so yeah, that sort of back to back. I'm still on I'm in the Hall of Fame for my school as the most successful sports team that's ever taken part in any sport at that school.
That's cool.
There's a picture of my team in the Hall of Fame.
Very good.
So that's probably my greatest achievement. Going invincible, I think, in a football season, that was quite an achievement. We were in the Oxford Mail, which is the Oxfordshire League B League, I believe. So not the best one, but the one below. We went invincible. I scored, I think, 26 goals in 16 games, something like that.
Very nice.
And I scored my favourite ever. I scored a hat trick on my. This was actually the first game I'd ever played for this team, and I scored a hat trick on my debut. And it was a penalty, a free kick, and edge of the box curl far corner.
Very nice.
So it was and for the curled goal, I was a dick and did a Cantona.
We like that.
Yeah.
We like that.
So then that, and then I think probably third would be something like getting to national level shot put.
Wow.
I've got a funny. Do you want to hear a funny story about? I might have told you this before,
Cool.
but we went to. So as a school, we had a few like exceptional sport. I'm not one of them. Exceptional sportsmen, and one of them was called Ben Thomas, and he's actually been British. He plays American football, but in Britain he was back-to-back MVP, which just shows you what sort of level of sportsman we're talking about. He is insane. And he was a 100-metre runner, and he ran something insane like a 10.5 or something like that. And this is at like 17 years old.
Jesus.
The kid was unbelievable. And so I went to nationals for field, so shot put and discus, I think it was. I was shit at discus. I was just better than other people. So, and we were there, and I'd done my events, and I was sat in the big sort of stand that they had there. It was at this big sports arena thing, and Ben comes up to me and goes, "Taylor," I go, "What?" And he goes, "I've just pulled my hamstring, warming up," and he's just done his hamstring. And so the teacher who was there, because it was a school thing, came over and went, right, we forfeit the whole event if we don't have someone run, so we need someone to run the 100 metres. You can probably see where this is going.
I can see exactly where this
Considering
is going.
I'm 17 at this point, so I've got most of this by the time I'm 17. I'm probably 18 stone at this point.
That's not built for 100 metres.
And we've got other people there, people that run the relay or run the 200 or run the 400 or whatever. So we've got runners there.
Yeah.
None of them want to do it.
Up steps Big
So
Tay.
just by process of elimination, I ran in a national final 100 metres. And do you want to know the funny thing? I didn't come last.
Genuinely.
Someone pulled up.
Oh, right.
Even to add to that, I had the number 118, which if you're British will make this even funnier, that you've got this 18 stone lump running against these fucking ripped track athletes, just trying his best. Do you know what I mean? Just like the special needs kid, just let him do it. But I did get to meet Roger Bannister at the finish line, so that was quite cool.
Very cool. That's the first man to beat the 4-minute mile, right?
4-minute mile, yeah. He was very old then.
Yes.
I don't know if he could do a 4-minute yard, but nice guy though.
Yeah, there's some cool fucking achievements.
Yeah, like I said, sounds a bit braggy now after yours, but there you go.
That's the point of your top 3 achievements, isn't it? Like, I'm trying to think, because I was trying to think, do I do it personal or team? It's really tricky. But I guess a lot of the sports I've played have been team sports. They're going to be team-related achievements.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really do much individuals other than the field stuff. But even then, it's sort of a collective effort. So
yeah, I did do javelin. I went to Town Sports. I'd never thrown a javelin in my life, right? And they were like, right, we need someone to do it. And I like throwing shit. I came second, just doing a standing throw, which is pretty good. 32 metres when I was at 14 or 15. Oh yeah, and I've technically been part of the 4s and 8s for indoor rowing, and we had over a 3-year period. This is no joke. Technically, I think we got something like 39 world records because we were only allowed to practice in lunch breaks. But they get the 4s and the 8s in, and it would be me for both the 4s and the 8s. Then you got the giant kids, the 6'5" fucking bean poles that can just yank a chain miles. And we ended up doing the National Junior Indoor Rowing Championships in Birmingham twice, London once. It was an opportunity to get out of school, if I'm completely fucking honest, and we'd just go pick up fags from a local shop because we weren't in uniform, and it was good. But yeah, we finished. We did well in that. I didn't do well personally. I think my best finish was 57th. Out of like 260 competitors at the championship bit.
That's top 25%.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, but I was not good. Let's just say that. But
no, well, it's a bit like me in the 100 metres, mate. So.
Yeah, but I was there to do that event. I was actually there chosen to do that and still be shit. Good fun, though. There you go. Anyway, there you go. Some cool achievements.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I know. I just think that anyone watching this is going to go, yeah, all right, mate, looking at me. But I was skinny back then.
I mean, you're looking at two now grown adults that have always loved sports, and we were massively involved as kids. And the question is, why are we relevant for having a sports tape brand? Well, there's not many more relevant. I've had fat knees growing up as a kid. I had Oscar Slatus up the yin yang from the age of 11 till 15. Was struggling to walk sometimes, and then still played through it every week. Since then, my right ankle is an absolute shambles of a joint. I mean, it may as well not be there. But, I've had that thing strapped up game after game, week after week, even in general life. Just walking around for the day, I've got to strap up my ankle. So we both have had injuries.
Oh, yeah. Injuries coming up my arse. Mind you, actually, I wasn't that injured until I got bigger. I actually managed to... I got one and I tore my quad playing football. And that was the only proper injury I had while I was skinny, let's say. All the other injuries have come since I've been bigger. Like when I tried to do sort of like a water boy thing where I went back and played basketball, because obviously I was relatively good at one time or another. And I went to an Oxford Hoops tryout, which is like the best team in the local area, effectively. And it was just a scrimmage, what it's called. So just a game, effectively, where you just rotate people in and out. You can play the same position. And they were picking teams, and obviously I was picked last and stuff like that. Just all the stuff I expected, because I turned up looking like this. So, of course, I was never going to be, first name on the team sheet. But I just wanted to sort of prove to myself that I still had it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
How'd you get on?
I did all right. Not amazing, because my fitness wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sort of... But the fundamentals were still there. And the funniest reaction was they didn't pass to me for the first sort of 4 or 5 possessions.
Right, yeah.
Because by then I wasn't like the tallest, and obviously my game was very suited to being the tallest because I was in school and I was taller than most people. So the first thing I did is I caught the ball, and one of my favourite players, his nickname's White Chocolate. If you know who I mean.
I've forgotten his name, but I see loads of podcast clips of him.
So he does a lot of flashy passes, so obviously training I tried to emulate them. And the first thing I did was I bounced past it through my legs, through the defender's legs to someone behind.
Oh, very nice.
And you just saw the whole room go,
the fuck? Yeah, what's going on here?
What?
We can play.
Yeah.
We can ball.
And then I went at the other end, and do you know what a skyhook is?
No.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You might have heard
I've heard of his name.
Yeah, so his famous move was a skyhook, which is a hook shot, which is sort of where you go over your head like that. But he did one where you can't actually see your hand. So he did it and then he flicked it. And it's like impossible to guard for someone who's not a foot taller than you. And I did it. I went down the other end and I did what's called a dream shake, which is a certain type of move you do to make the defender get, and then I did a sky hook. Yeah. And they all just went, "Who the fuck are you?"
Love that.
Still got it. Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah, so the fundamentals are there. But that was the night I then broke my ankle.
I hear the clip coming.
It was actually the next possession after I'd done the sky hook. I was feeling like, well, yeah, all right, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And then I went up, I jumped for a ball, grabbed it, another guy jumped with me, bumped into me, and then landed on my ankle. And my foot is obviously supposed to be like that. He's landed on it and it's gone like that. So it's not even the way, like where you roll your ankle, it's the other way. It broke the bottom sort of joint of my thing. Luckily, it wasn't a full compound fracture. It just sort of shaved the edge off. Still fucking hurt.
I bet.
So that put me out of action for 6 weeks. So it serves me right for going up there and thinking I can still do it.
Little lesson for you out there. Yeah. There you go.
I was still in work the next day though.
Go on, T-Slice.
On crutches.
Of course.
Yeah.
We get stuck in, don't we?
Well, we do. We like
it.
I suppose we're coming towards sort of where we're going to finish, but I think, we'll give a little bit of background as to teams we support, sports we follow, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What's your go-tos?
So I'm not a bit of a weirdo. I'm a proper fucking weirdo. The age of 13, I sort of gave up on pursuing football as a career. The very weird family situation, and it was like I thought I had to be the financial provider basically. So I was like, well, I'm either going to be 1 in 15 million that become a footballer in the Prem, or I can just become an accountant. And I thought I like numbers, so I basically, when I stopped trying to be a professional footballer as a career path, I also stopped letting myself get upset by the fact Man United were losing games regularly. And because I was a humongous Man United fan, I had the fucking wallpaper, I had bedding, you name it, everything United, David Beckham, like just ridiculous. And then at 13, I was like, I still love the sport. I'm obsessed with sports generally. Like I've always watched Wimbledon, I watch golf, I watch some cricket, but not too much. Like basketball, love mixed martial arts and boxing. But football's always been the main passion. But yeah, since then I don't support a specific team, but I still, if anything, it's made me enjoy football even more, because I'm now not tied to a badge based on what logic I still can't quite get my head around. But what it does mean, it means that I can enjoy any game of football. I haven't got to just wait for a Man United game once or twice a week. I can go watch City, Liverpool, I can, and enjoy all sports. So yeah, I would say that I don't support anyone in any sport, although I quite like certain UFC fighters, and I certainly dislike some of them. But I'd say UFC and boxing probably my 2 next biggest sports. I did do some boxing training. I went to 3 boxing training lessons as a kid because I knew I could punch hard, and that was about it. And then he asked me to skip, and I tried it, and I just kept embarrassing myself. Eventually I was like, look, this is not working. Like, you're not training me how to do it. This ain't working. I just left, never went back. I was like, if you want me to keep doing that every week, you can fucking think again. But yeah, those are going to be my favourite sports and shit, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, football's still my main one. And unfortunately, I am still emotionally tied to Manchester United. This is probably why I'm so chronically depressed all the time. I tried to get away from it in my teenage years because it was my stepdad's team and I don't get on with my stepdad, but unfortunately the only alternative was my dad's team, which is Watford, and they're even more of a joke than Man United. So yeah, I reverted to type and sort of went back to Man United. I never really left, I just tried to. And they still dictate my weekends, unfortunately. Other than that, quite like American football. I'm a Lions fan, if that
What city's that?
Detroit
Lions, okay.
Yeah, they just lost in the first round of the playoffs, even though they were favourites to go to the Super Bowl. So that was fucking awesome. I do like basketball. I don't watch any basketball. I struggle to watch it, especially the American basketball, because it's not... American basketball is very boring. Don't mind European basketball, it's just very hard to watch it over here without a million subscriptions. Yeah, American basketball is shit at the minute because it's just it's just 3-point. It's just people who have no business shooting 3-pointers, shooting 3-pointers.
Right.
It's fucking bullshit. It's like, it's... well, funny thing is, I thought this after I was watching some highlights. I thought, this is shit. So I thought I'd have a look into the viewer numbers since when I loved watching it in like... Probably started in about 2007, 8, something like that. Was the first time I really watched American. That's why I love Steve Nash so much, because that was his MVP year. None of this means anything to Dan, but...
No. I've heard of Steve Nash.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Little Canadian. And yeah, the viewership has dropped by something. It was something like 73%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all their revenues coming in from like... Wait, so are you talking about viewership in terms of the games?
Yeah.
Or as in on TV?
On TV.
70-odd%?
Something
Where
like that,
the
yeah.
fuck are they making it? Because the two of the first billionaires in sports are basketball players. Magic Johnson and LeBron.
Mm.
The two first billionaires, two basketball players, the other one's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Right? How did they... Well, I suppose LeBron's heyday would have been 2012 to 2018. I'm trying to work out how they
2010, 2015, that sort of area, yeah, was LeBron's heyday.
Because the contracts are getting bigger. They're getting paid more
Yeah,
every year.
I mean, Mark Cuban was just on who owns the Dallas Mavericks. He doesn't own all of them anymore. He sold a lot of it, actually. But he said, can you see in the next sort of 10 years the first $1 billion contract? And he went, yeah, without a doubt. So there's, I think Patrick Mahomes had the record for a little while, and then it was overtaken by Steph Curry, I think. And then there's been multiple since. But I know that the first mad one was Patrick Mahomes. It was something like 5 years, $200 million.
Right.
Because they do it across, it's not like football where they do it weekly, they do it across the length of the contract.
Yeah.
So, yeah, $200 million across. But that's not even the biggest anymore.
No.
There's a lot that are bigger than that now. Baseball, actually.
Yeah,
Baseball, there's a
huge.
lot of big, like Shohei Ohtani.
$500 million in it?
Something like that. Like an insane amount of money. Mike Trout was on a lot of money. Like, yeah, it's mad when you see it. But then, actually, when you convert it to weekly, it's not actually far off what some of the big professional footballers are making. So
It's about the same for a lot of them.
yeah,
Nowadays,
I mean,
it's fucking
like
nuts.
Ronaldo, for example, earns a lot more than any of them.
Yeah.
He earns something like $3.5 million a week.
Yeah, it's £326 a minute.
Yeah, something like that.
Something insane. I
It's
heard it the
insane.
other day.
It's insane. Like, yeah, that's $14 million a month.
Yeah, and that's not his sponsorships.
No.
That's just for kicking the bag of air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is
Yeah, that's just his
fucking
basic
nuts.
pay. There's no bonuses and that. Like,
Crazy. The world of sports, we keep watching, they keep paying more. That's the way it goes, I'm afraid.
yeah,
Supply el demando.
yeah. There we go. Right. Well, I know it was a short one, but hopefully you enjoyed us rambling for half an hour.
Yeah.
If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Stay locked in.
Indeed. Oh, keep an eye out on Westover Football Club. Why not? We sponsor their kit, and they're doing quite well. Bonjour. Cheers.
Bye.